Evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel. So more OP replays, but today is a bit of a heartbreaker. Yes, they do so much damage, they do so well, but it just wasn't enough. And both of these are from two of my favorite tanks in the game, and we're going to start off with the Waffle, and next up we have the Leopard 1. So the Waffle, great tank, one of the best tier 9s in the game, and today we are going to watch I Want Good Matchmaking. And yeah, his name is fits the build, to be honest. So he's going to the middle section here. He is a TD and it is top tier. Now there are there's 5 tier 10s, but the best thing about tier 9, why I love tier 9 so much, is most of the tier 9s hold their own against tier 10s, and against tier 8s they are even better, especially tanks like the Waffle. It's a great tank. It doesn't matter what tier it is, against tier 8 or tier 10, it's the same tank, and it does very, very well even against the tier 10s. So the standard B has been spotted, and there is a couple of heavy tanks into the town, as you can see there. Quite a few heavy tanks into the town. Nothing's been spotted to the left side, but I love his patience. He's been very, very patient here in the bush, just waiting for this standard B and maybe a couple of the TDs to reveal themselves, and his patience pays off, because that there was a beautiful HE into that standard B. But he does have to be very careful, because he is spotted now, and the FV4W5 is there, but he's not looking at him, he is looking elsewhere, so he is able to get yet again another beautiful HE out. So 2 shots, and that is 2,000 damage done already. 2 beautiful HE shots, and you can see he's asking for help. Now his team have hardly made a move. They are just all sitting sort of around that area. No one's really pushing. There is a tank on the cap now, which is the standard B. Luckily for the standard B, he gets out of the cap just in time, but he is moving, and our guy here is just waiting for that shot, but he is going to get the shot on the FV4W5 instead, with yet again another HE shot. So that's 3 shots and almost 3k damage. Now this standard B best move out the way pretty quickly, because now he's going to get absolutely torn apart by our guy in the Waffle. So 3.5k damage, easy 3.5k damage he's done so far. Most of them have been HE, except for that final shot on the standard B. So 2 kills. His team are winning, but of course now there is the standard B, but there is a Death Star somewhere, so he's still being very patient. He's not looking at rushing in anywhere. The 907 is a very low hit points, and now he has opened up the Death Star. There goes the 907. So if I was him, I would probably push to sort of the left side of this bridge, and hopefully he'll be able to get some shots off. But of course, as he's going down, that is when the Death Star also starts moving. So the left side of this map no one is at, so he can control the left side of this map, and of course get some nice shots in. If he can get this shot on the Badger here, unfortunately can't quite get it. Can he get this shot again? What a lovely shot. He is burning 1400 damage, and he's still burning 1427 damage, but the heavies haven't managed to hold their own that side of the map, and it's unfortunately that was a bad miss there. So it's the 3 against 5 at the minute, but as you can see, there are quite a few low hit point tanks, but there is still a Death Star out there somewhere that I believe is still full hit points. So clearing up these one shots is an absolute must, because that heavy in town, he's going to die very, very quickly, and now he hasn't got any shots off, so it's just him and this Death Star left alive, and of course there is the Death Star there as well, so he still needs to hold. The Death Star has been spotted on his team, and he just goes full YOLO. Like, there was no reason for him to push. Let them come to him, you know. Like, he could have just backed up. If he would have just backed up, then this could have been a completely different outcome, but he decides just to sit there in the open, taking all these shots, just like this Death Star on the enemy team. So 6.4k damage now. He's still full hit points, which is good, but I mean, there are quite a few tanks out there. There's 4 tanks out there. Some of them are very low hit points, so if he can take out these low hit points, especially the enemy Death Star. Now, I would go to the right side, because we know that the Death Star is in that side of the map on his own, unless he's made a move, and the other tanks are all on this on this now right side of the map, to his right. So I wouldn't have stayed here. I would have probably gone to the town, headed towards the town just to try and clear that Death Star. But he is going to get a shot here on the IS-7. Unfortunately, only leaves him on 40 HP. Doesn't manage to clear him, and now he's going to get rushed on by all these tanks. He needs to take out this guy. He has loaded up the HE, and he does clear the IS-7 to bring him now up to 4 kills and 7,000 damage. We know one tank is capping, and there's just 2 other tanks out there, which we don't know where they are at the moment, but them tanks know where he is, so he needs to get out of there before all 3 tanks rush him. The best thing about the Waffle, it is a quick tank. Now, with only a minute and a half left on the clock, he could have probably flanked around the whole entire map, but instead he does decide to stay here, and he is going to try to fight. But 3 kills with just over a minute left on the clock is a big ask. Now, of course, the ST1 is here. He comes and he does take a shot, but he does get a nice shot into him. So now he has to wait to try and clear this ST1. Hopefully he should be able to reload before this guy, but he's going to go back up, and he's not actually reload before him, and he does take an unfortunate shot. And now there is a Death Star to his left, an E100 to his right, and there's really not much he could do. His reload is quite long, and at this point he can only get 1 more shot in if he's lucky, and he is going to take that against the Death Star. And at this point in the game, there's just nothing he can do. So there was a slight mistake there. Like, I wouldn't have stayed this side of the map. I would have definitely flanked around towards the enemy spawn. But nevertheless, he put up a fantastic fight. 8,350 damage. He gets the 6 kills. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough for the Razani, but it was enough for an ace. And fair play to the enemy E100. He done a good game as well, and he gets the ace. So unfortunately, wasn't a win, but still a fantastic game. Next up, we are going to watch Get Wrapped from the Zenith clan in the Leopard 1 on the Normandy map. Now, as everyone knows, if everyone's been subbed for a while, everyone should know that the Leopard 1 is my favourite tank in the game. It's been my favourite tank for the last sort of 5, maybe even longer years, and I absolutely love it. Now, it must be a good tank, or to be my favourite tank for this long, considering Wargaming have added so many new tanks to the game since I first played the Leopard 1. So for this tank to still be my favourite tank after all this time, it must be a good tank. Now, it is only a good tank if you know how to play it. If you don't know how to play it, then yeah, it's not a great tank. Doesn't have any armor, but it has a great gun and great speed. And straight away, there goes the Batcher on his team. So they are already, well, they're not already down, but they're down 1 tank, and the enemy are already down a tank as well. So basically, both Batchats have gone. So it is a 6 versus 6. They are winning on supremacy points. Both teams have a cap of each, and now the Peugeot is on his own. So he's going to use that, and he's going to use the WZ1115A to his advantage as well. So of course the Peugeot is focusing the WZ, while he can get behind him and just farm up some damage without taking any shots. Now the Peugeot is in a bad position here, and he's just going to get absolutely ripped apart. But of course he can only focus 1 tank, and he's chosen to focus the WZ. I would personally focus the Leopard 1. It's a much easier pen, and of course he can shoot HE and do even more damage, but he decides to go for the 5A, and he pays the price. But these heavies over here, that both E100s are just absolutely getting rushed. You can see what, 3 heavies and a TD up there. There's only 1 other TD that has not been spotted, and that is the Death Star, which I'm assuming he will probably be over there, that side of the map. There goes the FV4005. It is now a 4 versus 4, but they're all big tanks out there. The IS-4 is still full hit points. There's still a T-57. There's still an E100, and of course there is still the Death Star somewhere as well. So he's going to focus this E100 at the moment, and he does have to switch the heat to try and get the pen on the turret there. But unfortunately, that was a bad bounce. And now he's going to focus on this Death Star. Again, hits the plane, doesn't manage to get the shot. And now the IS-4 is rushing him. It's a 3 versus 4. He needs to save as many hit points as he possibly can at this stage in the game. He needs support. And the 5A is around here. So that's why he's sticking around here, because the 5A will come to help him very soon. So that will make it a 2 tanks versus this 1. But the other tanks are making their way around. So I love the fact that he is now just backing down, so the IS-4 will start going for the 5A, because there will be nothing else for him to go for. So I do love that what he's done is just backed up out of harm's way for the time being, letting the 5A take the damage. And unfortunately, he is bouncing some crucial shots here that he needs to pen. He needs to pay a bit more attention and make sure these shots penetrate. So he's now gets a nice bounce from the IS-4, and he does manage to clear him. The E100 is basically a one-shot. The Death Star is what? He's almost full hit points. I can't quite see what the Death Star is on. So he's going to focus the E100 first, and now he's going to go for the T-57. So at the moment, when it's a 1 versus 3, it's always a big ask. Again, he gets a lucky bounce there against this T-57, who he now knows is on a reload. He is a one-shot, but he knows that this T-57 is on a reload. So I don't think he'll be able to clear this guy completely, even with the DPM being absolutely amazing with this tank. I don't think it'll be enough to clear him. And again, these are all troll bounces. That wasn't really his fault, but it was just so troll. And he tries to get a shot whilst running away. And again, he gets a lucky bounce into his rear. So he's actually bounced 1100 damage this game. He's on 6.4k damage. So he's already put up a good fight. But his team... excuse me, his team have just they just vanished, you know, and there's not much you can do when your team vanishes like that. So they are losing on supremacy points, and I don't, even at this point, I don't think he will be able to catch enough points. The T-57 is quite a quick tank, and it's going to be a big ask for him to overtake some of these bases, especially A. He needed to hit that shot really to reset A. He does take that shot there, but it's a bit too late. The Death Star does manage to catch A, but for some reason he's not actually moving, so he's just going to sit here and farm up a little bit of damage into him. 7.4k now, and he brings him down to a one shot unless he low rolls, which he does. 1 HP low roll. So now if he does manage to take care of this Death Star, again, that was a bit of a troll shot there, and now the T-57 has spotted him and he is getting closer. But 7.8k damage at the moment. The enemy does have 2 bases, but unfortunately it's just a bit too much to ask. Now, he could use the mobility of the tank to try and get away from this T-57, but the T-57 is pushing forward, and again, at this point in the game, there's just not much you can do. But he still put up a very good fight, but unfortunately just wasn't enough. Maybe if some of them shots that the troll bounces would have penned, then he could have used the other shots to go onto other targets, which in reality he may have taken, if he wouldn't have bounced stay the IS-4, that second shot he had to use on the IS-4 to clear him would have maybe gone on the T-57, which may have changed the outcome of the game. And of course, that side, the shot onto the side of the T-57, that bounce, that was very troll. If that would have penned as well, then who knows what could have happened. But nevertheless, a fantastic game. 8.5k damage, but unfortunately it's just a big F in chat for these guys, but they played absolutely brilliantly, but it just wasn't enough. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I'm meadsy69, and I will catch you all soon. Bye bye.